I fell asleep on the couch, burnt my dinner, and it's almost 1 o'clock. 3 minutes to one. Shit, that's what I get. I fell asleep, and I lucky I had turned it down a little bit because I was gonna make a salad and like sat down really in the chair and fell asleep. Woke up, it's cold. It's 45 degrees. And so I put the blanket on, and I don't have a heating pad, but I have this massager that has heat on it. So I put that on because I'm like, I will not turn the heat on. It was just 80 degrees. So, but I'm looking at this week. They got like 4 days to fix the budget, the government budget, and I hate to say it, Trump and his administration. I mean, they're complaining about the Democrats not helping them, but they're not helping themselves. I don't see one. I don't see anything that they're doing that's it's chaos. I don't see anything they're doing because now he wants to really his budget that Trump wants really wants to harm the United States people. Ooh, sinuses. Hey, when you wake up and I don't know, I'm freezing. Oh, I can't believe this weather. Oh, it's so crazy. I just hope my plants are okay at 45 degrees. So, it rained yesterday Sunday, and the night before somebody set a car on fire. Actually, I know who the person is up the street. Everybody on the street should know because every one of their cars look like some type of science project. I mean, they could put them together pretty good, but um, I think the only, but I think they have like, they, I don't know, so the crack parents have one or two police. I don't know what their problem is, but if they, if some of these people that have no really choices, um, in their finances and in their where they live because of their finances and the color of their skin, uh, and this just being this state is just Tennessee is just as racist as it ever has been, as it ever is. And one thing I noticed about living in a racist majority, where race is very prominent. Here they had like, you know, white only you can drink over here, white only. Um, mm. Anyway, remember my grandma Danny Mae, Mississippi? She looked like a white lady. Matter of fact, there's a picture of her in the Civil Rights Museum. They got her looking like this. There's one white lady protesting, but she just passed for it. But she chose, um, which I find it sort of strange. Like the black people that could pass for whites. Like we have a certain. If she did, a lot of people I knew in our family do have a certain respect for who they are, and it seemed like the dark skinned ones, you know, don't have a respect for who they are. It's probably their mothers like um and their fathers instilling them a certain look is more appropriate. Like my hair is in an afro now, and this one house, this guy actually a skirt I had on, I didn't realize at the time, but he was burning off. He burned two holes right in the front part of my skirt, and then he went and bragged about it. I don't know what his problem is, but you know, I know he sold crack for a long time. I ain't buy no crack from him ever, 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 because I wasn't doing any. You know, whatever his problem is, you know, that's the reason why I don't like to go to this corner store, the Arab zone. Oh, they're always calling the undercover cops because they're always having like, there's one family that was selling. and I don't know. They all got arrested, got kicked out of their HUD house. I didn't know that was a HUD house over there on Kings. Ever since they annexed this onto the city, this part, um, it really went downhill. It used to be really nice area. The first thing they did is because like everybody used to walk over here. There's like because there used to be a dirt road, and there was, you know. But first thing they did is we're gonna make we're gonna make the roads bigger. So they just cut out half of people's property. Where the Horn Lake, they had to make a new Horns Lake, so all the black business on the old Horn Lake, black people, they act like they didn't know this. Oh, first they were promising, really the promise was just water. The city water, they didn't have to use well water and gas instead of using wood stove. Well, anyway, what they did was first thing they did is like any woman or guy that's walking up there, undercover cops would to pick him up to have sex with him, so it became a track. And um, it's like, oh, this is a track now, so it wasn't safe for it immediately wasn't safe for females, young men, and children. And so I really am now looking forward to seeing what the Republican parties have in mind. Um, it looks like they're not prepared. They had plenty of time since January 21st to worry about the budget, but they've been playing around with the health care, which they had no foresight in it. They had 7 years to really, sit down and think of a plan. But you know, if you're just a racist person and you're trying to undo, now you got to remember, and let me tell you, America might not understand, um, but the racist people in America have lost every war. They're losers. Um, they're inferior because, like, I with I've lived around white people, and like I have to admit a lot of things I didn't know because I wasn't exposed to it or had no history to it. And what I don't know, and I got a lot of information, like they grade on how to break up your old cigarettes and make a to break up four cigarettes and roll up a new cigarette, or like something stuff like that. But when it comes to something that's not copying or not stealing, or something like that, they're not that good. Because I remember when they was making crystal meth, when they started making it, because they're like, oh, we're smarter than the niggas, we're gonna make it out of nothing. And um uh, that really, like, just seeing what some of the stuff they was like, the ether that some of them was using. Now ether is not bad, makes you giggle, but how they was getting the ether out of something, uh, getting it out of other, anyway, and fluorescent red and all this other stuff that they were using. I was like, oh, that would probably in itself kill something. Pneumonia. Let's make sarin gas here. But so they thought they were smart, and they got the recipe. Originally, the recipe was on the internet and was under Abbott and Costello, like something Abbott Costello. Like if you look up Abbott Costello the right way, the recipe came up. And but I've seen like some of them was making it like 10 years later. The shoe was, well, the whole group looked bad. It's the same thing with a whole little town up in Mississippi. It was all on crack. I went back and looked at that town, and I mean, it looked like uh, like I was like they were zombies, like it was the Night of the Living Dead, which spooked me out, and I drove the hour back here from where I was at. That's when I had a car, so um, um, but it's gonna be a disaster because his budget, like here they really can't afford not to fix the schools, but they it they're so hell bent on whooping kids, disciplining kids. I don't know. So we'll see. They don't. The Republicans. They don't have. They can't do anything because the things that they want to do, it's going to be devastating to the non-millionaires and the non billionaires of America's pocketbook, and they've been draining money out of us and keeping money from us, you know. So if they go ahead and do all the things they want to do, and even though like for me instance, you work 35 years paying the social security, as far as I'm concerned, if they don't give that money back that you put in it, basically they stealing from the American people, and I don't see where they don't understand. I know the fact that that to them they're not their life is not uh, geared around them getting social security. Their life seems like it's around lobbying different countries to and different countries and companies uh, that don't have the best interest in the United States to give them billions of dollars, like the billion. Uh, you know, so we'll see. Well, by the time the Republicans get done, because like they had got so used to, and they done trained themselves over the 8 years with Obama, not to work, and they had ample time, and they knew from previous years that they had a budget that had to be done because they didn't really finish the budget the year before. This was going to be the year Republicans was going to show how marvelous and fabulous they are. Instead, they're showing how corrupt. Uh, that for a few dollars that they don't mind doing a treason act. Um, well, if America looks like a third world country, if America has Republicans that think like third world dictators, and we have a puppet ass clown um, reality TV guy, and The Apprentice was the dumbest show. It was just a show on like, oh yeah, we'll just have a bunch of celebrities, um, pretty much doing a additional commercial, sell some other people's products. So nobody's interested in that shit. But I mean, and Trump and his kids. I mean, they haven't even hired enough people to as to they haven't replaced enough people in the Justice Department in a lot of places that need to be replaced. They doing these like this high like falutin type of stuff with, oh, we're gonna get the Supreme Court guy. Get a shitty Supreme Court guy. This guy, hey, his idea of upholding the Constitution is to like, oh you can tell he's a racist ass bitch. The one thing Korea and Russia wants is these white ass trash racist ass bitches. And they'll make a deal with those people. Can you imagine Pence? He's going around with his like, oh, his bleach blonde hair, like, oh, I'm perfect because I'm white. The guy looks like a joke too. Especially when he opens his mouth and talking about, oh, I can't do nothing, like I can't have no dinner or with and alcohol without my wife being here. I was like, the fuck? What are you, 8? Can be left to your to. But a lot of men, they can't be responsible for their action or their behavior. You know, because they were brought up to think that um, any woman like I don't like. Let me put an example. I don't know Pence, but Pence does look like he was raised in a very double biting, hypocrite, racist, bigot family. Otherwise, he wouldn't have the racist, bigot ideas and his ways of thinking. You know, which is like he. I don't see how he could be president when he can't even trust himself enough to d- you know. Never mind. But we have a lot of men like that. The men really went. They really went downhill. Very sorry, because you can look at Trump. You know, here's this man. He thinks because he has money, he could grab women's pussies. He thinks that because he has money, he could just buy women. So he had bought. I think his first wife probably really, you know, would have been a real relationship. Just that he wasn't real. And now look at him. He's a old homemonger, and you can see how like they got him looking like a fucking clown, you know. And I don't think he even when he was on the Apprentice he knew how ridiculous his hair looked. You know, he just like as long as he gets attention. Oh, you want to touch it? It's real. It's real. It's like no, bitch. I wouldn't want to touch that fucking mongoose looking head of his. It looks like it'll cut your hands. Looks like he got. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see. I don't see the Republicans able to work because their procedures is that we'll just undo. I don't know. Um, there's stuff that they can't undo that Obama did. The simple fact because they didn't do anything. I mean, if they hurry up in the next 4 days and takes care of this, they could go on another vacation. And when you go to your hometown, that's not supposed to be like, oh, I don't have to work. I don't have to have town hall meetings because the people in my area is like you're not representing us. You're not representing the people of America, Republicans. You're representing the Soviet Union. You're representing China. You're representing the wrong people. You're representing the oil companies. You you're representing situations that's putting hardship and causing devastation to the pocketbooks of American people while we're leaving our roads. I mean, if there's a black area or an Indian area, well, y'all hurry up and put in a brand new highway or a bridge to fucking nowhere or frack over here. But if it's a place like Chicago roads that got potholes or Seattle roads, highways that have potholes or something, you don't have time for that. You want to build a wall, take more Americans' land and property, that they've been paying taxes on, that they've been living on, that some have buried their family members on this land, for what? Because you could ask China about how much that wall kept a motherfucker out. You want to build a motherfucker wall? What they need to do is build a wall around them and drop them off in some little white only area. There's a place in South America that a bunch of Germans went, uh, and it's all white area, and they need some more white people down there with different blood because they got a whole bunch of mongoloid children that came up and other severely mental kids from, I guess they've proven their superior race. So they need some new blood, and they want the native Indians to have sex with some of their severely dysfunctional children, people, and I guess they refused because unlike some white males and black males that emulate, because this is our culture. But I've been like always told like black people, it was like, oh, only black people do this, and I had white people always tell me white people do. I had this guy like I didn't even like I was dating this white guy who was going swimming. I didn't understand. He goes, well, you mean black people can swim? I was like, well, you heard of Puerto Rico, Dominica, Haiti, and I'm like, I could go on. I could go to Pacific Route too, where they have, if they're not, they're people of color, they're darker than me, some are lighter than me, and they swim like fish. I'm like, what I'm saying, like, because the blacks buy into whatever the lie propaganda is. But I got news for the white people. If you think there's, oh, never mind. We'll see. We'll see because so far history has shown that the white supremacists are losers. They're murderers because they always go around, hanging people, uh, you know, burning crosses on people's yards, picking up guns and going into schools and shooting up people. A lot of that's, and black people are now been around in America around have white invaders. I still like I know black people are gonna get mad because like I don't know how these white people came over here back in the 1600s and the 1700s if they didn't come on a motherfucking boat. There's no way you could tell me with this fucking equator and what I know about science that there wasn't any people that was looking like me here before, whatever. Because America's history that they teach in school, is shitty, to say the most. The only thing they want to tell you is about the European. They don't, oh, well, we had Indians here. Oh, yeah, well, we killed them all. We had buffalo here. We killed all but a few. We didn't want them all to go extinct. We used to have wheat from sea to sea. Nobody was ever gonna get hungry. You could walk outside your house and just go in 150 feet circle around your house, and you could find a fine meal. You know what I'm saying? They might not have ate like as much red meat as they did now, but then because like I still I've always been told that red meat to children in certain diets they're feeding children encourages diabetes. And now that I'm an adult and there's a really bad epidemic of diabetes here it has a lot of people on dialysis and very sickly. Uh, the number one thing we can do to make America great again is to take care of our kids better, give our kids better food, supply them with a better education, and the America would do a 180 from where we're at now, and we can start prospering again. But what the Republicans is doing with their racist ways is just what Russia wants them to do. They're playing along with the propaganda. Yeah, you could hate your own people, and you could try to destroy your own people and lock all your people up in jails and with your new detention centers that you got that Trump and his little Republicans gonna make lots of money on because they put it in the stock market. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened. What's gonna happen? The people, you see why a lot of movie stars like Madonna, Janet Jack, Janet Jackson, yeah, they'll go to London, they'll go someplace else. Even the taxes might be higher there for their living expenses, but there's a certain freedom that as a person of color or a female that you can have that once you leave the United States that is very obvious to you. You can't really point your finger on it, but it's very obvious. The respect that you get um, for your abilities, and uh, not the disrespect you get for your skin color. It's so much different, and I recommend people like Snoop and whatnot. Send your daughter overseas for a while. Don't let her just go by herself. Maybe chaperone, so that maybe she. And now stay out of France if you don't know French. They're a little snooty. But even the French are a lot. I'd rather hang out with a little snooty uptight French person than have to deal with some of these racist ass bigots, especially racist ass African Americans. Man was at church. I'm like, what they know about being a human and being a mammal? You could stick in a thimble and still have enough room for your thumb. Oh well, we'll see what happens. There's no way the Republicans could come together because they're so busy. Me shaking it. They're so busy thinking that the Democrat, that's what happens here. They're waiting for the other shoe to drop here. It's like we've been fucking with you all this time, but it's just funny to watch them because like why they're fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm up in my motherfucking house. They're busy. Like whatever. Come out for 2 minutes. I got my own business to worry about. They'll just call the police on you. The police act like a fucking fool. Police tear up your motherfucking door, tear up your shit, stomp on your plants, and then give you a fine for excessive weeds. Which, when the city comes back around, they're looking at it. I'm showing her. I'm like, I think they're calling these tomatoes here, and this over here excessive. I'm like, but or I had to unpick them, frying them up, and it's talking about which I gotta go cook since I burnt my fucking salmon. I was looking forward to the filet salmon. Burned it. Fell asleep. I fell asleep, and now it's 1 o'clock. I woke up at 12ish. Or well, actually, I woke up 10 to 11, wondering what that smell was. But I had turned it down for a minute, so because it was cooking a little fast, I had turned it down really low so I could make my salad. I was just like, let me just sit down for a minute, and I had got the Sunday newspaper, and that was it. I don't even remember what I read in the damn newspaper. Oh well, let me get off here. It's almost 30 minutes I've been talking. But anyway, I may sum this up. The Republicans, for their lack of work on anything in government for the whole time Obama was in, to show their displeasure and displeasure with having a black president, uh, now have picked up some habits where um, I don't see them getting the budget done in 4 days. And they knew they had a budget to get done because they knew they didn't finish. Never mind. I guess, and they don't have no Obama to do no abracadabra with his patriotic people that he picked. Because Trump, he done picked some people that are just straight up. They just straight up traitors. It's straight up treason. They just straight up just they just they just the lowest. I mean, they're the insects that eat shit. Those little dumb bugs. That's what they are. They're little motherfucking shit eaters. Because they is not producing anything but a bunch of mess, a bunch of chaos. But Russia loves them and China loves them. As long as we keep buying Chinese products. And if you want to fuck with Korea, I mean with South Korea, North. Anyway, if you want to fuck with Korea, just remember Korea. It's the white people. Now the black people, we don't got no fucking. All we got, all we do is get bullied, harassed. It, 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 it's really such a sad, depressing, disgusting world that we have made. And then with him, and then denying climate change, denying our actions that we have done. How you can't change anything unless you recognize. Never mind. It's just disgusting. Republicans are just Trump is just a disgrace, a disgrace, disgrace. He's a disgrace to the fucking human race.